Garmin have just dropped the new Varia. It's called the RCT715. The RCT stands for rear camera tail light, and you guessed it, it now has an inbuilt rear view camera. So this is the updated version to the Varia RTL515, which was released in 2020. It includes all the features that that one has, but obviously including this new camera. So I think the easiest way to explain what this new camera is for is, you know, loads of cars these days have got forward-facing dash cams, and this is basically a rear view dash cam for your bike. It has some really nice recording modes on it that make capturing things really easy. Everything from those fun moments with your friends to those accidents that you never want to be involved in, but you'd probably be quite glad that you got the footage, especially if it's not your fault. So it has the new camera, but it also has all the classic features of the old Varia. So it's got, you know, the rear view tail light, obviously, so that's got different modes like I had before. We'll have a quick look at them later. And it's obviously got that rear car detection that tells you that cars are coming up behind you on your head unit like I had before. We'll have a look at that again in a minute. So it's got 3 recording modes. The first one is very easy to explain because it's always on. So as soon as you turn the light on and have it on the back of your bike, it's going to start recording. And this is always going to be recording until the memory is full, and then it will loop around and delete the old footage and rewrite that with the new one. So you're always going to have the most up-to-date footage. And mode 2, which I really like, is radar activated mode. So this can detect when a car's coming up behind you from 140 meters away. So when it detects a car, it's going to only record that moment. So you're not going to get all that cycling without any vehicles around you. It's not going to record that. It's just going to record when cars are behind you, which is essentially probably most of the time when you're going to want to record if something goes wrong with a car behind you. I mean, God forbid it doesn't happen, but you know what I'm saying. And the third mode is basically a not recording at all, which is almost a lack of a mode. It's another option, I should say, really. So you can have the rear view radar system working and the light working without the camera at all as an option. And you're probably not going to use this too often, but it will save battery if you need that rear view light to work extended hours into an evening ride, for example. So nice to have it there if you need it. Now I've thought about this, and I think it could actually be a bigger movement than what I initially thought, because as well as capturing all the data out the camera all the time, that's great for your own personal use or whatever you need to capture that data for. But if you think about it again, if these become very well known, and drivers in the UK are very well known for being pretty terrible around cyclists. They don't care about getting really close to them, and it's pretty dreadful. But if drivers generally know that a lot more cyclists are going to have these on and they could be prosecuted for driving badly, even if they don't want to drive any further away from you when they're whizzing past, it might second make them think and be like, if I'm going to get caught doing this, I might not do it so badly. So if these become a big enough thing, which I just can only imagine they will do in the future, I think it could actually make a massive difference to cycle safety out on the road, just because drivers are going to be more careful seeing these things on the back of bikes. So an interesting thought, and I really think it's going to happen in the near future. So this little device could be the start to really improved safety out on the roads. Perfect. It's a 1080p quality camera, and that can be toned down to 720p, so you lose a bit of resolution, but you can record for much longer. So that's an option there again for you. And it's worth noting that this is definitely more focused for safety purposes. It's not like a GoPro where you'd use it to catch loads of fun moments, even though you absolutely can do that with this, but it's definitely got safety at the forefront of what this is designed to do. As well as these modes, it has incident detection. So that's got an accelerometer in the unit, which obviously detects when you're unfortunate enough to have an incident and it's taken a bit of a bash. It's going to record that moment automatically and save that into an area of the device that can't be deleted or re-looped over. So if anything like that's to happen, it's going to auto save that as a video and you're going to have that as a file, which in my opinion is probably one of the best new features of this new camera. As well as that, if you want to take a photo of anything behind you, whether that be an annoying car that's right up your arse and you want to get their number plate for whatever reason, or it could be you and your mates cycling up a hill with a nice view. So you've got the option to manually decide when you want to take a photo or video just by sliding down from the top of a Garmin head unit and just clicking the little icon at the top there. So with all those options and modes, I think that basically covers everything that you'd want to have for capturing anything behind you. So I think they've covered that really nicely. It is worth noting that you'll never be able to get a live view from what the camera's seeing behind you up on your head unit or on a phone app on your handlebars. As annoying as this is, as it would be quite a fun feature to have, it's just too distracting. It's almost like watching a film whilst driving, isn't it? So you don't want to have a safety device that's actually going to make you less safe, so that's not an option. The only time when you will get the live view is when you're setting the camera up. On the phone app, it gives you this option where you can really line up and get everything nice and straight and make sure you've got no bags or anything on the back of your bike hanging and getting in the way of the camera, as well as the fact that that would reduce the functionality of the radar, which is detecting the cars behind you. So it's always really worth noting that setting these up properly with no panniers or bags or even other lights, long jackets hanging, whatever it might be, make sure it's got a really nice clear view of sight on the road behind you, because it's just obviously going to work best without anything dangling in the way. It's really nice to see that it comes with an external SD slot. It's not just internal memory. So it comes with a 16GB card, which, to let you know, is about 2 hours of video recording at the high 1080p at 30 frames a second. So you've got about 2 hours of constant recording, but you can swap that out from anything from an 8GB, which you're probably not going to put a smaller card in, all the way up to a 128GB card it's going to be compatible with. So I'm not even going to do the math, but that's lots of hours of video that you can record if you wanted to extend the memory in it. So this new camera functionality is going to be able to beam up to, I think, most, if not all, of the new Edge bike computers, as well as some of the new Garmin watches as well. So I'll pop that up on the screen here so you can see what it's compatible with. Moving on to the battery life, you get 6 hours of battery with full 1080p recording with the day flash mode on, which is a really bright 65 lumen flash for during the day. And then you get 5 hours of battery life with the recording on with a solid light but at the lower setting. And then you get 4 hours of battery life with the recording on with it on a solid higher beam. And just to give you an idea of how these lights look, you hold this top button here, just blinded myself, and it goes through different options. So you've got this is the high, and then it's lower. It might not show particularly well on camera, but it will give you an idea. And then flash mode here, and then you can just hold it to turn the light back off again. Pretty simple. It's also worth noting, the old one had this as well, but it has a Peloton mode. And that's basically just an 8 lumen light, so it's not particularly bright. It's bright enough, but it's not going to blind all your mates around you having a super bright light in your face. So a nice mode to have if you're riding in a big group. So the radar function is basically the same as what we saw on the old 515. It can detect up to 8 vehicles behind you at a distance of 140 meters away, which is, you know, that's far. And you can see these popping up on your head unit, and it's just going to give you a little notification when it sees a car coming. If it flashes red on each side, it means the car's coming with some pace and you should probably tuck in a bit and hope for the best. If it's amber, it just means the car's coming at a normal pace, and then it will flash green when you're all in the clear, basically. And just like before, you can choose how it alerts you, so it can give you audio alerts from your head unit, or it can even buzz your phone that's in your pocket, which is a really nice feature, so you can just get a little vibration just to know when something's overtaking you. So again, they've really thought about, and it's a system that works really well. Now, one thing I haven't had the chance to test out is using it at night. So I don't know how the camera's going to function when it's really dark, pitch black, even in dusky scenarios. So if any of you have had the chance to use it at night, let me know how it works, because I want to know. It comes with a new lever mount unit, which is definitely stronger than the other one. So connect that in, and then you've just got a lever here that locks. I'm talking, this thing is never coming loose once you've locked it in. So you're going to need this nice support because of the radar functionality and the camera. You don't want it jiggling around, but that is, take my word for it, locked in. And then it's quite a chunky clunk to get this, not, you know, you can tell it's undone, and then it's free again. Simple, but pretty effective. I like it. And then it comes with different rubber plates for different seat posts. So you've got this sort of semi-flat back one, obviously for those seat posts. You've got the aero ones for your aero seat posts, and then you've got, you guessed it, the classic round one for your classic round seat post. It's got the little cover here for a USB-C charging port, which is nice to know because it's got quicker data transfer and it just charges that a little bit quicker. So it's nice to see that they've adopted the new USB-C system. And one thing to note as well is that this newer unit is slightly bigger than the old 515. So I'm just going to try and get this one back out of the box. Bear with me. Okay, got there. So you can see, not dramatically bigger, but it is definitely a bigger unit. It's definitely a bit bigger, but it's also heavier as well. So I've got the old trusty kitchen scales here. So we'll just zero these out quickly. So the original, the last 515 weighed about just over 70 grams. And the new 715 comes in at about 150 grams, maybe a few grams shy of that. So I mean, it is heavier. It's not going to be anything dramatically noticeable on the bike, but for the weight weenies of you out there, at least you know that it is just a bit heavier, if that's a huge thing for you. I suppose they'd be doing a pretty good job if they could add a camera into the device and make it lighter. So I guess that's the small price you pay for that extra feature. So what do you reckon to the new Garmin Varia RCT715? I've not seen anything like it. I think it's really pushing cycle safety, and that just can't be a bad thing, can it? So it gets the thumbs up from me. Love to know what you guys at home think. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.